Guys, welcome back to Strong Successful Male. So for today, I'm going to go over an article titled 5 Reasons Men Should Never Take Dating Advice from Women. Now guys, this is something I've been talking about pretty much since day one. I've brought up in different articles that I've done, different stories that people have sent me and so forth. But it's another thing when you actually see an article written about this confirming this, okay? Now, we can all joke that, hey, you should never take advice from women about anything, but right now we're focusing on the dating aspect. Now, guys, the reason I'm doing this is probably one of the biggest mistakes young guys make when they first start hooking up with girls and dating girls and all that, is that they think that, hey, I'm, kind of clueless in some areas, or I don't get certain things, so I'm going to ask my female friends advice, to help me get the girl I want, all right, or whatever it happens to be, or trying to figure this one out or whatever. And it seems to make sense. It seems logical that, hey, women should get, what makes them tick and what they would find attractive and all that. But guess what happens? Does that work out? For any of you guys watching this right now that had the same idea when you were younger and less experienced, how'd that turn out for you? Probably not very good, right? And I know this because this is a mistake I made multiple times when I was younger because I didn't know any better, okay? Growing up when I was a teenager in college and early 20s, I had friends that were girls at different jobs I had in school, and often I would ask them questions about things like that, and it would always make things worse. I'd ask them how to attract a girl I'd like, or how to fix things with a girl I screwed things up with, or whatever. Never ended well. Every time. And I learned the hard way. What I should have done was sought advice from guys that had experience, particularly older guys, that could tell me what I needed to hear, not what I wanted to hear. Okay? So this article, guys, is going to go into 5 big reasons why, and I'm going to add a few things along the way just to, things I've learned to help you guys out. So starts off saying, if there is one thing I know with absolute certainty in my life today, it's the fact that if I listened and took to heart my mother's advice on how to attract women, I'd still be a virgin, watching porn on a daily basis, and most definitely lacking in self-esteem. That opening paragraph says it all. Dead on. Okay? And again, for you guys that have been through this, that have made this mistake, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I remember back in the day when I was absolutely unsuccessful with women. For some reason, I felt that women would obviously be the best source of advice when it came to being successful with them. After all the guys I was hanging out with were clueless. And women obviously spent a lot of time dissecting each other and every move a guy made on them. How wrong I was. Yep. You may still be soliciting advice from women about themselves, but in my experience, women are the least qualified to give advice on their sex. Attraction, seduction, and dating advice from women will not only severely limit your dating options, but will leave you clueless and frustrated. Yes, guys, because generally speaking, by and large, most women, and I'm saying most women do not get what they emotionally respond to. And a lot of them, even if they do get it, they don't like it. They don't want to admit that they fell for some stupid line, or they don't want to admit that they are actually attracted to the charm and charisma of bad boys, okay? They'll go through the whole thing. They want a nice guy that treats them right and buys them flowers and listens to them and opens up about their feelings. But are they really attracted to that? No. They don't go for guys like that. They go for guys that do the exact opposite. But they say one thing but do another. So, that's one reason, and there's other ones along the way. But it's the absolute truth. He goes on here saying, most women are quite comfortable dispensing advice on attracting and seducing women because they feel that by virtue of their sex, they are experts on this topic. Never mind the fact that not one of them has ever been shot down in the bar while approaching another woman, ignored on the street while trying to engage in a conversation with an attractive woman, or has any idea what it's like to penetrate another woman with a penis. Yeah, so many women are more than happy to give advice on this subject. In fact, a lot of them jump at the opportunity. I'm sure you guys have seen it. But by and large, most don't know what the hell they're talking about, and they don't want to admit that. And of course, there's other factors like, you ask them a question, they may know you're screwing up, or you're doing something wrong, but they actually like you and care about you because they're your friend and they don't want to hurt your feelings. So instead of being direct the way a man would, because your guy friends would tell you when you're fucking up, a woman generally won't, especially the feminine women. A more masculine woman nowadays might be more direct with you, but generally women are not direct, women are indirect, and they'll use innuendos and drop hints and hope you figure it out on your own. Guys generally are way more direct. That's masculine energy. Here are 5 reasons why you should never take advice about women from women. Number 1, she's under a lot of social pressure. Women are always wary of being labeled a slut, judged by others, or put under any kind of social pressure regarding their sexuality. Therefore, they have no choice but to distort the truth when it comes to issues like this. Women love sex and have an even greater potential than men for enjoying sex. I'll go as far to state that women think about sex as much as men. Studies be damned, understanding this fact and the social pressure women face is the number 1 reason why men should never take advice on dating and attraction for women. You simply won't get the truth. Exactly. Now, occasionally, there are some women, guys, that will have certain aspects. They'll get certain aspects of things, but I have yet to ever meet one that gets it 100%. She may get certain things, but she's not going to be direct enough to tell you because she doesn't want to hurt your feelings. Or they may not get things. They'll be direct with you, but they don't get it. Or they get it, but because of how they want things to be in society, not how they are, but how they want things to be, they're not going to tell you. So, there's a whole mixture of things here where you're generally not going to get what you need to hear. Therefore, go to guys, experienced men that are older, have been around the block, good, bad, and ugly, and can tell you the truth. Number 2, she is oblivious to a man's attraction system. The majority of women have no idea how the last man that attracted them did it, or have any clue it can be duplicated. If you walk into a store and after an enthusiastic sales pitch from the saleswoman, walk out with $900 worth of merchandise, chances are, if the salesperson was any good, they closed you with a canned pitch and they had repeated numerous times. You probably couldn't describe the process accurately, much less in a way that could be duplicated. Just as the process you describe will be from your own perspective as a customer, the process a woman will describe to a man soliciting her advice or on attraction will be from her own perspective as well. Given the fact that very few men have a consistent, successful approach to attracting women, it's highly unlikely that duplicating a skewed perspective of a seduction process will work in a man's favor. Number 3. She is unconscious to seduction. The process whereby a woman gets turned on is unconscious and subtle, and so are the list of qualities they look for in a man. The cocktail of personality traits and behaviors in a man that arouse a woman are quite different to describe, even for women who are absolutely aware of them. Almost every woman will quite confidently and self-assuredly throw out a list of arbitrary qualities, the most common being a guy who makes them laugh, nice, loyal, tall, a gentleman, treats me like a princess, and so on. Interestingly, the men she ends up dating usually turn out to be lacking in most of those qualities. Hence the eternal lament of the nice guy. Why do women always fall for the bad boys? Exactly. They don't get what they emotionally respond to in terms of attraction, seduction, and all that. And just like I said in the beginning, how many times have you guys heard women complain, either girls that you are friends with, girls that you work with, girls that are in your family, whatever it happens to be, of all different ages, and they all say they want the nice guy and the whole list of qualities. But when they have the opportunity to go out with those guys or stay in a relationship with them, they usually end up dumping them or not giving them the time of day for the exact guy that does the exact opposite, the classic bad boy. I've known women that have flat out said they don't like bad boys. But then I point out, oh yeah? Well, look at the guys you've been dating. How about this guy? Or that guy? Or this guy you like right now? And I would usually get kind of a look on their face and they know I'm right, but they don't want to admit it. And any women watching this, because I do have 4.3% of my followers, according to YouTube, are women all over the world. So that's obviously several thousand at this point. If you're watching this, you know I'm right. Number 4. Women are experts at being women. Women are not experts at attracting women. They are experts at being women. As a result, the advice they tend to give to men is the same as they would dispense to their single girlfriends. And these things are, what I'm about to say are in quotes. Just wait. The right guy or girl is out there for you. It will happen when the time is right. The only problem with this advice is that it only works for women. Men approach women, not the other way around. If a man waited for the right one or sat around hoping that something would just happen, he'd be waiting a long, fruitless time. The only exception to that, what he's saying is if you are a guy that obviously has a lot of status, okay? Without a shadow of a doubt, you have a lot of status, you have a lot of money, you're popular with women, then you'll have women throwing themselves at you, okay? Obviously, some good examples are really big celebrities, okay? You know, big celebrities are going to have women throw themselves at them all the time, whether social media or whenever they go out, you know? Someone recognizable. But for your average guy, you know, you have to take action, otherwise it's not going to happen. You know, I mean, you got to have a lot going for it. You know, you can you can do these dating apps, and you can make a good profile about yourself that is attractive to women. But you got to be good looking. You got to have attractive qualities. Might get them to actually hit you up first. It will happen, okay? But you got to have obviously things that draw them in, setting yourself apart. And of course, being good looking, taking care of yourself, probably being about 6 feet tall, making a good income, shit like that will help your case. But generally speaking, that's a small percentage. You got to have a lot going on for you. Otherwise, you're going to have to be the one to put yourself out there and make it happen for yourself. And again, like they said, women are best at being women, not giving advice. Number 5, her imagination differs greatly from real life. That's fucking true. I remember a woman I recently hooked up with asking me how I would approach a woman in a bar if I found her physically attractive enough to take home. I told her, and as expected, she scoffed, declaring, "Ugh, I'd never fall for a line like that." Of course, it was that very same line I had opened her up with when we first met at a bar, a week earlier. If I had confronted her, she would have completely denied it, or worst case scenario, remembered and consequently felt easy. Not good. Seeing that we were laying naked and disheveled in bed, the best comeback was to ignore her denial, and launch another vigorous round of sex. The way a woman imagines she will react to a man's approach is absolutely different from how they would react in real life. Remember that. Exactly. Women don't mean to lead a man astray with their advice. They've been socialized that way. It is a man's responsibility to seek out legitimate, tested, and accurate sources of advice. This will always come from men who are successful with women. Spend your time associating with men who are winners with women, and you'll be well on your way to achieving your dating goals. Exactly. So again, I know I'm preaching to the choir to most of you guys that are older, but for you younger guys that maybe are still, learning these things, if you haven't learned this already, if you haven't heard this from my other videos, I'm doubling down here with this article and basically telling you, yes, seek out all advice when it comes to women, picking them up, dating, relationships, all that shit, whatever you want to do. Everybody's different from men. Guys have been around the block. Even if guys aren't exactly walking, talking James Bond with women, guys that have at least been around the block, lived long enough and experienced enough that can tell you what works and what doesn't. Because at the end of the day, while every individual is different, generally speaking, female nature all around the world, they're the same. What they respond to is the same, okay? Women are different in terms of what they might find attractive in certain qualities about men, but generally what they mostly respond to, what drives them, is the same around the world. It doesn't make a difference what part of the world you live, what their socioeconomic background is, what their religion is, what color they are, any of that stuff. They all respond to what they respond to. Because I get emails from guys all over the world. You pick a country, I've gotten an email from there at some point in the last 6 months since I've been doing this channel. And I've had some guys say, hey, well, women are different in my country. Or maybe or if the guys are younger, late teens, early 20s. So they're different than women in their 40s. While the values and stuff like that may be a little different because of like where they live or their age range, what they respond to is the same, okay? Trust me on this, okay? If you don't believe me, just live a little, experience a little, and you'll see what I'm talking about. So again, I thought this was a good article to go over. Again, I've been talking about this on and off for the last 6 months, but this is an actual article I found from a guy that's dead on about this. So guys, like I said before, any questions you may have with regards to them, ask a guy that has experience. End of story. No ifs, ands, or buts. All right? So, all right, guys, that is it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. And let me know, guys, in the comment section, have you, when you were younger or even right now, sought advice from women about other women? And let me know exactly how that went. How did it turn out? And I'm going to be guessing pretty about 99.9% of the time it ended very badly. And by you doing that, it will show to people that want to watch this, those that read the comments, because I know a lot of people just come here to read the comments because they find the comments entertaining. Tell your story, and this will show it isn't just me saying this, that this happens to guys all over the world, all backgrounds, all ages. Don't ask for advice from women about women, period. So, and be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. And I'll catch you next time.